English classroom. This is Abigail Meruga, working as School Assistant English in Jilla Parishad High School, Jonalgada of Guntur district. Children, in the previous session, we have learnt about a lesson, a different kind of school. So in that lesson, we have learnt about different subjects that are taught in the school, and then different days that are observed in that school, and then we have learned about the methods that follow, and also we have learned the main purpose of Miss Beam's school. Children, do you remember I have given you a home task? I hope you have completed. Yes. So in this class, just we'll continue the remaining part of the lesson, A Different Kind of School, written by E.V. Lucas. So before getting into the lesson, let's have a look on the overview of the lesson. Shall we proceed, children? Okay, here we go.
Students, under overview, we have working with the text, working with the language, speaking and writing, and the poem Where Do All Teachers Go? Before getting into the lesson, let's know the learning outcomes of the lesson. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to recall the different types of differently able people around you, identify the main characters of the text, recognize the social concern for differently abled, find the meanings for the new words from the dictionary, explain why they cannot do things they listed, arrange the events in a chronological order, inculcating human values and helping nature, summarize the text in your own words, and prepare a list of things that are difficult to do. Write one action which is particularly important for each finger. Let's move on to our lesson. Shall we continue our lesson? Okay. Before getting into the lesson, let's watch this video. Students, before getting into the lesson, let's know about the author. As in the previous session, I have told you the writer of this lesson, A Different Kind of School, is Edward Verrall Lucas. He was born on 11 June 1868 and he was a versatile and prolific British author, wrote more than 30 collections of essays on a wide range of subjects, travel books, art, criticism. He was an English humorist, essayist, biographer, publisher, poet, and a novelist. The lesson, A Different Kind of School, appears in his collection called A Little of Everything. He died on 26 June 1938. Students, let's continue our lesson. So here, Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girls. Here is a gentleman come to talk to you, said Miss Beam and left us. So here Miss Beam is telling the girl who was blindfolded, and she said that a gentleman has come to talk to you. So after that she left the place. Don't you ever peep? I asked the girl. Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. Are your helpers kind to you? I asked. So here the speaker is asking the girl that have you ever peeped. So here the how the boy is peeping. So for this the girl said, she exclaimed. So peeping means here look secretly and then exclaim, cry out suddenly in surprise. Suppose if they peep, it would be a cheating. So awful. Awful means very bad or unpleasant. So being a blind person, it is very awful because all the time they think that they are going to hit by something. So it is better to sit down at one place. So then he asked if their helpers are helping her or not. Let's see in the next paragraph. Now students, let's read 14th paragraph. Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you tried. Shall I lead you anywhere? I asked. Here, fairly means moderately good. Ghastly means terrible. Here the girl is asking the speaker to try to be like a blind person. And then the girl asks, shall I lead you anywhere? Oh, yes, she said. Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. So here the girl is saying that he should only tell about the things and then she will explain him. And she's explaining that the other bad days can't be half bad as this because being blind is very awful. But here having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun. Now let's see the meaning for the word crutch. Crutch means it is a stick with cross pieces, right? The people who cannot walk, they will walk with the help of the crutches. As you can see here, the crutch. And here, the tied legs and also the person, he is walking with the crutch. Let's move on a little further. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just from worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now? So here in this paragraph, the girl is saying that an arm tied up a bit more troublesome because it is very difficult to take food and drink water and to do things. But even then, she's telling that it is better to be a deaf than being an arm tied or being blind. So being blind means all the time they will be frightened that something will hit or they may hit something and they will get hurt. So now the girl is asking that where are we now? Now let's see the meanings for the words. Here troublesome means difficulty. Frightening means scary. So all the time the girl, what she says, she feels very scary because she may hit something and get hurt when her turn is of blind day. In the playground, I said, we are walking towards the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down with a garden with a tall girl. What's the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. So here, when the girl asked where are we, then here the writer is telling that they are in the playground, and Miss Beam is walking up and down with a tall girl. So the girl asked what she was wearing, and he said that the girl wore cotton skirt and a pink blouse. Then she said that she is smelling. Students, let's continue our lesson. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. That's Millie. She is the head girl. There's an old man tying up roses. I said, yes, that's Peter. He is the gardener. He is hundreds of years old. And here comes a girl with curly red hair, and she is on crutches. That's Anita, she said. So here, when the girl asked what color is her hair, so he is explaining that she has a light hair. That means very light means here yellowish. And then she said that the girl is Millie, and she is the head girl means she is the leader. And he said that there's an old man. So she said that that old man's name is Peter. He's a gardener. So he has been working for a long time. And then the writer said that here comes a girl with a curly red hair, and she's walking with the help of the crutches. And then she mentioned the name that her name is Anita. So gardener means a person who tends a garden. Okay, children, shall we proceed? Now let's read the last paragraph of the lesson. And so we walked on. Gradually, I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. Oh, she replied, then there's something in my system after all. So this is abridged and simplified version from E.V. Lucas. Children, in this paragraph, so he said that he heard very little, but after visiting, he learned and he was very much thoughtful. So if ever he want to describe, so these things and the methods and the system, it made me to describe more and more interesting things to the people. So he said finally, so he is so sorry. He is not willing to leave the place because the place was so interesting. He learned many things. And then she said, oh, there's the something in my system after all. Because of the system, because of the method, because of the subjects, because of the days that observed in that particular school made Miss Beam's school a special. Okay, children, shall we know the meanings for the new words? Okay, here comes your words. Gradually. Gradually means slowly. Discovered, realized. Sorry to go, feeling sad to go because he is not interested to go away from the school. Something in the system means effective and worthwhile. So these methods and system is very useful and worth having this type of system in school. Students, now let's conclude the lesson. A different kind of school teaches us how, apart from education, we must also learn how to respect others. Moreover, we must always help out specially able people and be kind and compassionate towards them. We must stretch our hands in the time of need. We should not dishonor others' weaknesses. Finally, we must be grateful for what we have and make the most beautiful of it. So we must learn to be happy and to be content with what we have. Okay, children? Students, here is an exercise from page number 60. Put these sentences from the story in the right order and write them out in a paragraph. Don't refer to the text. So here some sentences are given. You have to arrange them in an order. Then you will get a meaningful paragraph. So shall we do that? Okay, here are the sentences and now you have to write a paragraph. Let's see how the paragraph works out. Let's go for a walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about a crutch is almost fun, I guess. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. So, children, if you arrange and write them in a paragraph, so we have got a meaningful paragraph. Okay, children? Now, let's move on to another exercise from the text. Now it's time for us to comprehension check. Answer the following questions. Your first question on the screen. Why do you think the writer visited Miss Beam's school? Who is ready to give me answer for this? Okay, proceed. The writer had heard a lot about the unique teaching methods of Miss Beam's school, so he visited the school. Very good. Great job. Here comes your second question. What was the game that every child in the school had to play? So this is from paragraph 9. So now whose turn is it to give me answer? Okay, go ahead. In Miss Beam's school, every child had to play the role of being blind, deaf, dumb, injured, and lame in their turn. It was like a game that they had to play, and this formed a main part of their training. Well done. Here comes your question on the screen. Each term, every child had one blind day, one lame day. Complete the line. Which day was the hardest? Why was it the hardest? So, this is from 9, 11, and 15th paragraphs. So, if you refer to this, you will get the answer. Okay, students? Now, you can give me your answer. Okay, go ahead. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. The blind day was the hardest day among all because the students had to act blind without peeping from their blindfolds. They felt as they were about to hit or bump into things each moment. So, as we have learnt in the lesson that the blind day is the most difficult because all the time they will be thinking that they will hit something and they'll get hurt. Okay, children, let's move on to next question. Here comes your question on the screen. What was the purpose of these special days? So you can get the answer from 5th and 9th paragraphs. Okay, students. Now who is will give me the answer for this? Okay. The main purpose of these special days was to give the students a personal taste and experience of misfortune. Enacting a day of disability would help them understand the feelings of people born with such disabilities. They have to respect them. This kind of practice would help them to become responsible human beings. Okay, students? Well done. Very good. Let's move on to another exercise. Students, here is an exercise for you. Match the words and phrases with their meanings in the box below. Number 1, homesick. So you can find the word in paragraph 3. Homesick means wanting to be at home. Practically means almost. It pains me. It hurts me. Appreciate understanding the difficulties. Thoughtless means not very caring. Exercise. So you can find in paragraph 11. Test the strength of. And then the seventh one is relief. You can find in 13th paragraph. That means a welcome change. And the last one, ghastly. You can find the word in paragraph 14. Ghastly means terrible. So children, you have to write them in your notebook. Students, here is an exercise from page number 61. Reword these lines from the story. The first one. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school. So when we reword this line, we can write like this. The writer had heard a lot of praise from people about different teaching methods of Miss Beam's school. Shall we see the second one? Okay. Miss Beam was all that I had expected, middle-aged, full of authority. So when we reword these lines, we can write like this. The writer found Miss Beam to be a middle-aged woman full of authorities. So can you try for the third one? Okay, let's try. Okay, I went to the window which overlooked a large garden. Now you can give me answer here. Yes, very good. The writer looked out of the window and saw a large garden. And the next one, you have to reword this line from the story. We cannot bandage the children's mouths, so they really have to exercise their willpower. For this, we can write like this. The children had to use their willpower to keep quiet. Okay, children, let's move little further. Students, open your textbooks at page number 62 and let us do the exercise C. Here, given below is a page from a dictionary. Look at it carefully and then you have to write 1, 2 and 3. The first one, find a word which means the same as ghastly. Write down the word and its two meaning. So when we come to this word ghastly, so here two meanings, right? Terrible, causing fear or very bad. So in the same way, the second one, find a word meaning a part of the school year. So here a part of the school year means it is fixed length of time. So from first term, second term and final term like that we have now, it is a fixed length of time and a part of the school year also. And then the third one is find a word that means examination. So we have to give two meanings. Let's see the first one, to look for something to see if it is correct or will work properly. Suppose if we go for anything to buy, then we will test it whether it is working or not. So this is one meaning. And then to ask someone questions. So when we ask questions and they give answers. So in this way we will test. So here we have ghastly, terrible, causing fear and very bad. And term means a fixed length of time or a part of the school year. Test means to look for something to see if it is correct or will work properly. And the other one is to ask someone question. So shall we move on, students? Okay. Students, now make a list of all the words from the dictionary page plus any more that you can think of. So here what you have to do, you have to write all the letters that begin with T-E-R-R. So let's see here. See here term. So it is not T-E-R-R. So here we'll see T-E-R-R-A-C, terrace. And then here we have Terrible, terrible. And here Terribly. And then if you come here, you have Territory, territory, and here Terror, terror. So you have, if you find any words, even you can write down here. Now here the words start with terror, terrace, terrible, terribly, territory, and terror. Okay, children. Now let's move on little further. Now, students, let's see second one. 5 words that may follow the last word on the page. That means here the words start with th. Those, this, and theater. So we can see here that, those, and then we can see the theater, and then, right, if you find any here, you can see then. So you can write some more words if you come across, and then write down your meanings or your own meanings of the word thank. Okay, so here you can find, first let us see here, thank, then thanked, thank you, thankful, thanks, and so on. So what you have to do now, you have to write your own meanings of the words, and then you have to write your own sentence. Let's write. Thank means to express gratitude for kindness, gift, help, or service. So generally we say thanks now to express our gratitude for somebody, someone helps us, and then if somebody gives us gifts, and then we'll say thank you, and for help and also services. And then I hear one more thing, I thank God every day. So I thank God every day for his blessings, and I thanked my parents for their love and affection. So we always respect and we have to love and thank our parents for their love and care and affection. And then thanks for helping me. Suppose you can say thanks for your friends for their help, and thank you for the present you sent me. So we have the meaning and also the own sentences. Okay, student. So let's move little further. Students, here is a poem, All But Blind, written by Walter de la Mare. Shall we sing this? Okay, here we go. All but blind in his chambered hole, gropes for warmth the four-clawed mole. All but blind in the evening sky, the hooded bat whirls softly by. All but blind in the burning day, the born old blunders on her way. And blind as are these three to me, so blind to someone I must be. Shall we read, children? All but blind in his chambered hole, gropes for warmth the four-clawed mole. All but blind in the evening sky, the hooded bat trills softly by. All but blind in the burning day, the worn old blunders on her way. And blind as are these three to me, so blind to someone I must be. Students, here is an exercise on page number 64. So make a short list of things you find difficult to do. So what do you think that are difficult to do? Now tell me. Turning, somersault, bend, threading a needle, climbing mountains, climbing trees. Okay, students. So now what you have to do? You have to list out the things which you feel very difficult. So you have to compare your list with others in the class, and then you have to explain why you find these things very difficult to do. Okay, children. Now let's move on little further. Students, here is an exercise for you. Look at your hands carefully. Now write down for each finger one action for which that finger is particularly important. For example, the second or index finger helps to hold the knife down firmly when cutting. Now here you can see the first one here, it is a thumb, and then this is index finger, and this one is middle finger, and then the fourth one is ring finger, and the last one little finger. So you have to write each one important thing that what you do with these fingers. Okay children, now let's proceed. First one, thumb. So thumb finger, it helps to hold a glass to drink water. And then here you can see the index finger. Index finger, it helps in holding a knife while cutting fruits or vegetables. And then here, middle finger. It helps in coloring or painting or writing or drawing something. And then the fourth one, ring finger. So this ring finger is used for putting a ring and support other fingers. And the last one, little finger. So this little finger helps in supporting other fingers and making a fist. Okay children? Students, here comes your home task on the screen. Number 1. Make a short list of things you find difficult to do. B. Explain why you find these things difficult to do. So you have to write in your notebook. In the next class, I will see you. Okay? Students, so far we have seen the lesson, a different kind of school, and then we learnt meanings and we came to know the summary, and also you have wonderfully given answers under comprehension check, and we have done working with language, and then even you have answered and you have done your exercises. So now it's time for us to wrap the session. So we'll meet in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.